Before 1994, NHL draft positions were solely based on final standings. Meaning, if you were the last place team, you automatically got the first overall pick, which led to a lot of teams tanking. So in 1995, the NHL introduced the draft lottery system, where NHL teams who missed the playoffs had a chance of moving up 4 spots. And there has been some minor adjustments, but not until 2016 did the NHL have to step in and finally make some massive changes, as Edmonton Oilers won the draft lottery 4 times in a 6-year span. And so the NHL wanted to put an end to this tanking mentality. And with that being said, there has been many times where a team has won the draft lottery, but it doesn't always mean you come out with the best player. And some teams have lost the draft lottery, but ultimately came out on top. In today's video, we're going to go over 6 teams who lost the draft lottery, but ended up winning in the draft. So comment down below if your team has had some bad luck with the draft lottery, and press subscribe for some more awesome hockey content. Let's get straight into this video. And yes, I'm looking more fresh. We'll start in 2004, as the Pittsburgh Penguins, alongside many other teams, would be in a race for last place in the NHL, as they were all trying to get the best odds of drafting a generational goal scorer from Russia named Alex Ovechkin. In this season, the Penguins' leading goal scorer was a defenseman in Dick Tarnstrom, and the Pens would also start a fringe goaltender in Sebastian Caron 40 times, and he would carry a horrendous .881 save percentage and a 3.74 goals against average. And all this combined led the Penguins to only winning 23 games, and they would finish with 58 points, only 1 point behind the Blackhawks and the Capitals. As the Washington Capitals would hit the lotto, literally, and hold the rights to the #1 overall pick, which they used to draft Alexander Ovechkin, who is quite possibly the purest goal scorer we have seen in NHL history. And well, the Penguins also didn't do so bad, as they drafted Evgeny Malkin with the #2 pick, who will also go down as a Hall of Famer. In fact, Malkin is argued by many to be a better player than Ovi because he plays a more well-rounded game. But this isn't even what made the Pens win at the end of the day, because the next season, the NHL would go into a full 82-game lockout. And because the Pens didn't make the playoffs in the last 4 seasons, they would have the highest odds with 6.3%, and well, they would of course win the Crosby sweepstakes and draft one of the best players in NHL history. And if the Penguins win the first pick in 2004, they surely have less odds in 2005, resulting in them not drafting Sidney Crosby. And this Pens team that has won 3 Stanley Cups does not exist in its current form. So even though losing the draft lottery sucks, you never know what kind of ripple effect occurs afterwards. The hockey gods can be pretty cruel like that. Next, we'll fast forward to 2012. And this draft was honestly all over the place, as Nail Yakupov was a clear #1 pick, but he wasn't necessarily the most attractive player. Because to be honest, Yak was a pretty unpredictable person.
His draft interview was the worst interview I've ever had in my life.
Yakupov's was?
Terrible.
Well, how come? Jeez.
Because he was defiant and obnoxious and sullen.
And as for the rest of the draft, well, there was some intriguing players, but it was well known to be a weaker draft. So finally, at the end of the season, the Columbus Blue Jackets would finish with 65 points as the worst team in the NHL. However, the hockey gods would prove to be ever so cruel, as the Edmonton Oilers would win not 1, not 2, by 3 first overall picks in a row. Meaning they won the Fail for Nail sweepstakes, if that is a sweepstakes. And of course, they would draft Nail Yakupov with the first overall pick, who is widely known as one of the biggest draft busts in NHL history, because today he was basically a 0 value pick, as he never ended up becoming a consistent NHLer and currently resides in Russia. And well, the Columbus Blue Jackets would dodge that bullet as they draft Ryan Murray with the 2nd overall pick. And unfortunately, Ryan Murray has been pretty injury prone throughout his career, but he has served as a solid top 4 defenseman, whereas the Edmonton Oilers have nothing to show for their former first overall pick, so Columbus really dodged a bullet in not winning the draft lottery. Next, we have a caseless iPhone. Well, good thing Red Zone Cases just released their Star Series 2.0. Besser, Petey, Horvat on one case? Are you kidding me? Austin Matthews, Connor McDavid. Get one of these beautiful cases today and use code RTH at checkout to receive 20% off your order. The link is in the description below. Next, we have the 2013 NHL Draft. And this was of course the lockout season, so we saw a lot of unpredictable standings. And the Florida Panthers would finish the season dead last with 36 points, And this team was really in shambles, as Thomas Fleischmann, being their leading scorer, had 35 points. And other than Jonathan Huberdeau, they didn't have the most impressive prospect pipeline. So adding someone like Seth Jones or Nathan MacKinnon would be a franchise-changing moment. However, the Colorado Avalanche would swoop in, win the draft lottery, but regardless, they would still hold the number 2 overall pick. And so the Avalanche would of course draft Nathan MacKinnon, and the Panthers would surprise many by drafting Alex Barkov, who wasn't necessarily an off-the-board pick, but by many scouts, he was a clear step behind Seth Jones, MacKinnon, and Jonathan Drouin. However, after a slightly longer development curve, Alex Barkov has developed into a top talent in the NHL, as he put up a career-high 96 points last season and has the toolset to be an elite two-way center in the NHL. And because Barkov wasn't an immediate impact player, they would go on to draft another cornerstone piece in Aaron Ekblad in the next season. Next, with the 2014 NHL Draft. And like I previously mentioned, the Edmonton Oilers were part of a cruel hockey god joke, as before this draft, they had won 3 out of the last 4 first overall picks. And so at this point, everyone assumed they were just going to win this draft lottery too. And why wouldn't they? They just kept winning. And well, they finally didn't, as the Florida Panthers would steal pick number 1 from the Buffalo Sabres, which they used to draft Aaron Ekblad, a 6'4", two-way defenseman who's actually served to have a great career so far in the NHL, as he won the Calder and has been the backbone of the Florida Panthers since day one. And as for the number 2 pick, well, the Buffalo Sabres would draft Sam Reinhart, an extremely intelligent center from the Kootenay Ice. And Sam has been a bit disappointing, as he hasn't reached his full potential, but he has been a very good top 6 talent, with 65 points last season being his career high. And as for the Edmonton Oilers, who the hockey gods finally teamed by not allowing them the first overall pick. So even though the Edmonton Oilers lost the draft lottery, they slam dunked on everyone in this draft, as Leon Draisaitl is a top 5 player in the whole NHL, as Leon has an insane 110 points in 71 games, meaning he was on pace for 127 points. And clearly, Draisaitl is the best player to come from this draft. And the hockey gods would add a bit more salt to the wounds of the Buffalo Sabres, as Edmonton would also win the first overall pick in 2015, which they used to draft Connor McJesus. Next, with the 2017 NHL Draft. And in this year, the Colorado Avalanche would shock the hockey world, as they would put up one of the worst records in NHL history, as the Avs would finish this season with 48 points. And this is the same team that had Nathan MacKinnon, Matt Duchene, Mikko Rantanen, Tyson Barrie, and Gabriel Landeskog. So honestly, it just made no sense. As the next worst team in the NHL was the Vancouver Canucks, who had 69 points, so 21 more points between last and second last. And the Vancouver Canucks had their own storyline brewing, as during this period, they were notoriously losing every draft lottery and getting pushed down the draft. And with the new draft lottery odds, both the Canucks and Colorado Avalanche would be shockingly pushed down 3 spots. As the Philadelphia Flyers with the 2% odds won pick number 2, Dallas with 6.4% would win number 3, and the Devils at 8.5% would win the first overall pick, which they used to draft Nico Hischier. And don't get me wrong, Nico Hischier has developed into a great player and still has some great upside, but the best of this draft was clearly lying at pick number 4 and pick number 5. As the Colorado Avalanche would jump on Cale Makar, an elite puck-moving defenseman from the AJHL, and Vancouver would jump on Elias Pettersson, a small-framed but elite center from Sweden. And Elias Pettersson would break into the NHL in 2018, and he would shock the entire hockey world. 10 goals. 10 goals in his first 10 games. He ended the season with 66 points in 71 games, won the Calder Trophy, and is highly regarded as the brightest young talent in the entire NHL, as his ceiling is really just limitless. And as for Colorado, Cale Makar is also one of the best young talents in the entire NHL, as he truly has franchise upside with 50 points in 57 games in his rookie season. And Cale Makar is definitely a future Norris winning defenseman. And so for 2 teams in Colorado and Vancouver who were in disbelief after being shafted in the draft lottery, well, they ended up doing pretty okay. Anyways guys, has your team ever been a victim at the draft lottery? As a Canucks fan, I really know this pain. I know the pain of seeing that card flip on the draft lottery night more than anyone else, so comment down below and press subscribe for some more awesome hockey content. Our goal is 20K by the end of this year, so let's crush it. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys are doing well. See you guys later.